I'm Mac.
And welcome back to the Zip Podcast.
Today, we've kind of flipped it around a little bit, and we've got Trin on the couch and her best friend Peyton, and we're going to hear their whole friendship story, where they're both from, all the things they're planning on doing, and all that fun stuff. So we're going to get into it, and it'll be really fun, but we're going to start with the question of the day, which, Trin, you go ahead and ask what the question of the day is today.
What is the first thing that you notice about somebody?
The first thing I notice about somebody is their shoes.
Or their feet. Either one. Whichever one you decide.
I mean, if they got sandals on, oops.
What's a pair of shoes that you see and you're like, ooh, I probably won't be a fan of this person?
Ooh, that's a good... It depends. It's more so if they're...
Trin says Vans.
It's
Or Converse.
fair. But it's more so like if they're... how beat up they are.
Oh, really?
And the type of shoe, like if it's like a good pair of Jordans or like an Air Force and they're really beat up, I'm kind of just like, I don't know.
Really?
We'll just have to see.
Personally, I love a pair of beat up shoes. Like I've gotten a pair of white Vans before and like actually scuffed them on the sidewalk because I didn't want to wear plain white shoes.
That's not bad. Like it depends. Like Vans and Converse,
they got
dirty.
to look dirty. Yeah. Or like a pair of tennis shoes. Like I feel like they got to look a little worn.
The judgment from you is crazy.
Did you say that you took new shoes?
I took my Vans and I like threw them on the sidewalk and like scuffed them because I thought that they looked weird just being bright white. And then everyone's like, "Oh, she's wearing new shoes." Like,
did it work?
They
wouldn't
great.
even work.
No, they looked worn. It looked like I'd had them for 3 months.
3 months.
You know, that is a hot take right there. That is something.
When I have kids, like when I buy them Vans, I'm totally gonna be like,
those poor kids are gonna look like
worn.
They run them
It
through
looks
the mud.
better. They got some character to them.
I personally noticed the resting face of somebody.
Okay, so what's Peyton's resting face like?
Normally, if she's resting, she looks sad.
Aww.
I get that a lot, actually. There's been many times people come up to me and they're like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm literally just sitting here."
You look lost.
Yeah.
And I look like I'm mad.
You look scary.
I look like I'm about to beat somebody up. So
Unapproachable.
It's okay. I definitely noticed teeth first.
Teeth?
Like
Really?
right away. Yeah.
Definitely.
Like instantly.
A good smile.
Yeah, a good smile. Good teeth. That's like right where my eyes go. But also when people talk, I tend to look at their mouths too.
Mm-hmm.
And like the
I
lip
watch
read.
your eyes, and they're like...
They're always at mouths, so.
I do that a lot, but I found that I feel like if people notice that, it's kind of weird. So
It
I try
is-
to look at their eyes.
I've been told that.
Because like if you're
She's been in some situations that did not work out for her.
Because if you're constantly looking at your
like-
eyes, just keep going like up and down.
Like, what's she doing? So I might need to work on that, but I'm going to stick to it. Because the other option is, like, look at someone's unibrow, but then it's like, I need tweezers.
That one just makes you too much
You
like.
just come, no, you have to really fix that one.
Gotta look at the point of the nose. That's where I need to focus. Okay, well, today we're going to go all the way back to where you guys started. So start by introducing, like, who you... We all know Trin. So, Peyton, you go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Peyton. I'm from Wisconsin, hometown Semper. I've lived there all my life, and it's not much about me. I guess I'm a senior this year. I graduate in literally how many days? 5
Soon.
days? 4 days?
You walk
So-
Friday.
Friday.
Oh, that's so exciting. And Trin, you just graduated.
Yep.
Or no,
Walk
you walk
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know when this is going to be posted, so it could have been 4 months ago, but, you know.
Walk on June 4th.
June 4th.
That's exciting. So let's go back to, like, the day you guys met. What year were you in? Where were you? That whole shebang.
I don't know what year it is, but I know what grade.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Is that what I said?
I was
Or
going to
don't
say,
know?
I'm not going to sit here
What
and try to
day
figure
of
out
the week was it? At what time?
It was at, no, I was kidding.
She knows.
Definitely 6th grade. We met 6th grade.
It's been confirmed. It's 6th grade?
It has been confirmed after some long
research.
Okay.
6th grade, I'm pretty sure. So like every day before we would go into school, we'd all stand in front of the school. Like,
it was like they wouldn't
recess.
let you inside.
Yeah, but it wasn't fun. Like
Okay.
it's freezing
Everybody
cold and you're
hated it.
standing out there shivering.
Yeah, okay.
And everybody like huddled into the groups, and we had mutual friends, so we
Yeah.
kind of just stood in the same group.
So I got introduced to her. When she was talking to her lovely boyfriend in 7th grade.
So Peyton was talking to her boyfriend, and
So it was kind of just like a...
Because I met
Hey.
him in 6th grade.
Yeah.
had you guys been dating for a year?
No
Oh.
way.
It was just like a few months.
Yeah, it was so, it's like not real. Like, I
Yeah.
don't count that.
So
She just likes to like mess with
I
me
just
about
like to bully about it, but because I thought it was funny, because it was kind of like a, oh hey, I'm Trinity, hey, I'm Peyton, okay, and then I just kind of like stood there.
it. Yeah, like because it was such a big group setting that we didn't. it's
That
not
I
we
just
can
like
really talk to each
listened to the
Yeah.
conversation.
And had you guys had you been in the same school like for a while, or when did your was your 6th grade a new school that you went into?
Yeah,
Ours?
yeah, because it was K through 5 at elementary, and you went to
but
Horizon.
5th grade, I went to Prairie View.
You
That was
did
my
go to Prairie-
2nd year at that school.
Our town,
school-
some
Yeah, that's why
it was overpopulated, and so like my elementary school is normally kindergarten through 5th grade, but our school got so overpopulated that they moved the 5th grade from my school into the upper middle school.
Okay.
So it was 5th through 7th that I spent at the upper middle school, and
Oh.
it was her first year at that school.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you were in the same school you'd been in, and then she just plopped over.
Yeah.
we did some crazy stuff with our schools. They've moved so
Yeah,
much
that's
all the
wacky.
time.
And now you
It's-
have 2 high schools. This is in Wisconsin, by the way. I
Yeah.
don't know if we.
So
referenced
now
that.
they have like 2 high schools. They have like 6 like.
Oh, we have to have close to. I think we have a lot of elementary schools.
It's like 10 elementary schools.
Okay.
It's
That's
like
pretty similar to yours.
2 upper middle
Three.
schools, 3 upper middle schools, 3 upper middle schools, and then
Two high schools now.
Wow.
And we're not very big.
Like, they
it's
just
a
didn't want the
small
schools to be
area.
too
The
big.
surrounding is
Yeah.
not very big.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, so we met 6th grade. We didn't really, because we had different houses too. So
Yeah,
we never had the same classes together.
They
Different
divided you.
houses?
Yeah.
They
Do you
were
guys have that?
houses.
Or not really? So
Is it like your team of like
Yeah.
teachers?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were
'cause-
called houses. It was
Okay.
A through
C.
C. A through C.
Okay, so you guys didn't have any like connecting classes in
not at
6th
all.
grade. So when did you guys start having like classes together?
7th grade?
7th
Okay,
grade
tell
was
us
our
about that.
art class.
Oh, yeah.
It was for like half the year, or was that full year?
I think it was half semester.
Okay, yeah. So like half the year we were in art class together.
And it was the end of the year.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was.
So we met and
That class was so much fun.
So
Loved
when
the
you guys
teacher.
got into that class, were you guys like, oh, we want to sit by each other, or did you not talk?
we
at
had
first?
assigned seats actually.
and so I
and
think
there was
we
one-
sat next to each other.
I think we were.
Yeah.
We did sit next to each other, and then
Our teacher, she was amazing. She would just like let us do our own thing.
she only let us really
mingle.
go at the tables, like sit in assigned spots just for attendance, and then we could go do whatever we want,
Oh,
like
that's
literally whatever we
So
want.
would you guys normally stay together, or would you would?
There was like 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah,
And
we'd all sit at the same table.
the third one of us was a guy that we both liked.
We both had a crush on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what was this about?
It
like-
wasn't like a competition. It was just like we were like
Teamwork.
team.
He's so
it was
cute.
A team.
Oh my gosh!
It wasn't even
Look
like
at what he just did.
it wasn't even like that either. It was just like we would.
Like it was just fun
We
for him to
weren't
talk
girly
to
girls.
us. No,
So we weren't like, oh my goodness, is this boy? No, we were like,
oh, he's cool. He can hang around us.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he's seriously probably hands down one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Do you still talk to him ever?
I don't really talk to him, but I mean, I see him around. I've been in school with him since kindergarten.
Oh,
So
that's
we've
crazy.
so we've all
Oh,
been to
that's
school together for
fun.
like
Yeah.
what 12,
So
13
that was
years.
interesting. 8th grade was probably the best year
Why is
because
that?
we had English together, and then we had gym, and we had health.
And that was also COVID year.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about
That was the best part of COVID, I'm telling you. Because they just sent us home.
That's basically what. Wait, did
And
you
we
guys?
got,
You had
like,
school
homework.
the rest of the year?
We had homework, but it was like
Homework.
nothing that we actually did.
Yeah, the easiest
Really?
assignments. It was
Because we
so
had like online start. So they were like 2 weeks off of school.
Yeah, that's
right?
what we had
Yeah,
too,
and
yeah.
so and that was like right by spring break. So we
'Cause
were
they
like,
kept
okay,
pushing
spring
out.
break and an
It
extra
was-
week.
10 days before our spring break.
Really?
I remember because I was supposed to go on a cruise.
Mm.
And I remember my last moments in the school was me sitting in class and talking to my teacher and being like, I have 10 days until I go on the cruise.
Oh, that's fun. But you didn't go on the cruise.
No. No.
That
that
Isn't
didn't
that
happen.
weird? Everyone was like, "Oh, we have 2 weeks off," and then we just never went back. My last day, like the day we found out we had school closed, I was here, and we were all making TikToks, and we were like, oh, we got 2 weeks off.
It was like the best news, and then it went so downhill so
Do you know
fast.
what my dad made me watch this pandemic movie the day before the world shut down.
Oh, what was he like?
And it was like this pandemic movie about everybody dying. Everybody dying.
Oh.
It was
Good
not
way to start the
It was not a good start
2020
to
pandemic.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So
no, it was
when you
awful.
guys, so you were online, and you guys were online for a while though, right?
Mhm.
Because like
Our whole 9th grade year.
Ninth
whole
grade
ninth,
year.
so last of 8th grade, whole 9th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and then when did you go back? Because you came here.
Yeah, so we went back 10th grade pretty normal, but I'm pretty sure at the end of 9th, they did like a hybrid situation.
That's
and
cool.
I did that, but you didn't because you weren't going back to the school.
That makes
wasn't-
sense.
So I did because obviously stayed.
Yeah.
And she didn't because she was leaving. And we had Zoom classes. We literally FaceTimed
Aw.
every time. Like
Yeah.
we'd have the same class
We
together.
didn't focus.
No.
So how was that though? Like, how did you guys keep your friendship like during that COVID time? Because you guys never saw each other.
And because the first time we ever hung out was 7th grade.
It-
and we never hung out again. Not because of anything, but like COVID
we never
happened.
went out
and-
after that.
So was it like the end of 7th grade, and then you were like 8th grade starts, busy.
Eighth
never
grade
got the
and
chance?
8th grade during English class,
We were always by each other.
we were always by each other, and we just thought it was like a coincidence.
No, it was no coincidence. Trust me. One time she wasn't in the room. Our English teacher, she was she was great. She was something else, but she was great. And so she came up to me one time and was like, "Yeah, like," because she gave us assigned seats because she knew we couldn't handle
Every time.
choosing. And she goes, "Yeah, you and Trin." She's like, "I love putting Trinity by you because, you know, you just help her. She's such a shy young girl, and you know, you just really help her, like, you know, be confident and like just whatever." And I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, but what did you do? Every time in class, I would
like smack her mouth.
she would hit me under the chin all the time. And this teacher, I don't think she ever saw it once.
She never saw it, and I never waited until she turned around.
Nah, you wait until I turn around and just bop, like every second, like all the time. And then this teacher's like, "Oh yeah, she's so sweet," and I was like, "Are we talking about the same person?"
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not changed since.
No.
Still the same.
Yeah, and then 9th grade we talked the whole time.
Moderating online and stuff.
Like I remember playing video games during class.
Oh yeah, camera off, mic off.
I had at one point I remember this. I had choir I was doing choir online. It was the stupidest thing ever. But the camera was off and my mic was off, and I fell asleep while in class. In class, whatever. And I guess she was talking to everybody and started talking individuals, like, and she was like talking to me, and I was sleeping. And I remember waking up to a text from my friend saying, "Hey, she's talking to you." And I was like, "Oh shoot!" It was just really funny.
How do you recover from that? Because oops, my bad.
I don't remember.
they could have thought it was like a glitch.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
I
she
quickly
didn't even
like turned on my
notice.
camera and I was like, "Oh, sorry, like you disconnected. Like I didn't hear you."
What was that?
Wi-Fi
Making
problems.
Noises.
Yeah. Exactly.
Break it up. Like,
And so yeah, that was
Yeah. And then
at the end of 9th grade year, because we were FaceTiming every single
Yeah.
day. To tell her that I was moving, I FaceTimed her, and that day we got our sold sign up for our house, or it was like a for sale sign.
yeah, she's
'Cause
like,
it
"Guess
wasn't
what?"
sold yet. I was like, "Guess what?" And I flipped the camera, and it was literally just the sign.
Just
what were your thoughts in that moment? Which it's still so weird because you guys had only hung out once at this point.
Yeah,
Hung out
so
once, we talked every day.
it was so weird
Wild.
because you would think, you know, those friendships you have at school where you're just school friends.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you like the person, but you probably
You
won't
won't
hang
see
out with
them all summer.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have a class. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was the weirdest thing when she told me, and I was just like, "What?" Like, you know, you just kind of like where, and then you don't know
Yeah.
what's happening, and it was hard. But at the same time, I feel like because we didn't hang out all the time, it wasn't
that
really
big of a
different.
deal.
Yeah,
and that's
'cause you were
why I
used to
thought
it.
it was so funny to just like show her the for sale sign, because I was like,
That's crazy.
like this is, we've been talking, and like the world has been shut down for a year and a half
Yeah.
at this point,
So we never really saw each
There's
other
really
anyway.
no difference. Yeah.
and we only hung out once, and so
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
so weird.
And that
So
was
you guys
what
were-
2 years prior to when
2
you
years
moved.
prior to So
You
it
guys
was
are
like,
basically like those stories when you talk, like you, I'm gonna go on a rampage about these because I think they're crazy. I like the TikToks where like they like say they met a best friend and like they're from America and then the other person's from like Australia and they just like FaceTime every day and they're like online best friends and they play like Sims together and stuff.
That's basically what we were, but
yeah, that's wild.
We looked in the same neighborhood
that I live in now.
Yeah, before we
like,
built our house in, I want to say it was 8th grade maybe. 7th or 8th grade,
so
we
weird.
built a house.
It was definitely 7th because I came to that house.
No, it was 5th grade. Just kidding.
I was gonna say. I was like, I mean, I went there.
We almost ended up in the same neighborhood.
Oh, that's weird.
Because we looked in her neighborhood to buy a house.
That's
which
wild.
is so crazy to think because like
I would neighbors.
Yeah, and I would not have thought. I feel like it definitely wouldn't have worked out. Like we would not have been this close and this good of friends if you would have been my neighbor. Like I feel like we just would have never.
It just
met.
would have been different. Yeah. So when you went back to school and she wasn't there, was that weird or like what were your feelings about that?
It was. I'm like I kind of get along with a lot of people, so I'm not in a specific social group. Yeah. So I'm not like, oh, I hang out with these people, or like I could get along with everybody.
Yeah.
And so not having somebody who like, but we still texted every day. It was just in school itself that I had like nobody to really hang out with. Yeah. And like you don't get to walk with someone between classes. I mean, I had friends that like I was really close with at the time. I think I did have a best friend during those years.
I was gonna say
because we kind of like
did.
You did
because this was 10th grade, right?
Yes. So I definitely
did. You not like the best friend?
She did not.
Okay, but
I tend to pick the wrong people.
The best friend just
Trin, watch out. She picks the wrong people.
She did not end up being a great person. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it was not the best friendship.
Very toxic.
Yes, very toxic. Mm-hmm. But we still texted. And like, I think that's really what got me through everything because she helped me through so much. And I think with talking to her all the time, I like grew in my faith. I mean, her whole family genuinely has been the biggest blessing to my life. And
I feel like 10th grade we got the closest.
Yes. 10th and 11th because I feel like we both felt so isolated because you were in a new town. You had nobody really. I
started in a new school, a new job. We were in a rental house, so we didn't even have a real house yet. Mm-hmm. We were waiting for our house to be built. So we both were in a process of just like
finding ourselves really.
Yeah, it was like a new everything.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we lost our friendship because we never had it in person.
Yeah. And you guys were kind of in the same spot, like at that time, so it made sense to keep talking.
We just had more stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
I guess
different states at that point.
Exactly. We just had more stuff to like relate to because we both started such new things, and it was so different not having her around.
Yeah. I want to know more about your faith journey and like where you started, and then how Trin and her family got you further, and then like where you are now.
Yeah. So, wow, it's been a big journey. 11th grade and 12th grade, I think I would love to say like my senior year this year has been the most that I've grown with the Lord and everything. That's awesome. And I think that without Trin's family, I would have never had that push to be like, hey, like you come down for Christmas, come down. Like I've spent 2 Christmases now with you guys.
2 Christmases. One was an actual Christmas and one was just the break after Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So it was last like this year, your senior year, the first real Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And oh my goodness, the amount of people. I'm not social. I'm so not used to it was 20 people and 5 dogs.
That was
and
a
there
packed
was
house.
So many people and I'm just like I need my time sometimes. And it was so funny because the more that I'm around them, the more I'm like bored at home. Yeah. Because like I don't have people at my house all the time. Yeah. And it's just like, oh.
You're like, I just have to go home. I can totally relate to that because I used to be very like, I need my like I'm extroverted, but then the minute I'm alone, I'm like, yes. Like that's how I recharge. Yeah. But the more I've been like all summer, we all were just constantly with each other and constantly with each other's like families, and now I realize I need less of that like alone time. So I can totally get that.
It's weird. It's such a weird shift.
Yeah, and then like you learn how to relax around people.
Exactly, and just like make conversations if you have to.
The whole time.
Yeah, like I took a nap on their couch and like drooled all over myself, and I was totally comfortable about it last weekend. I was totally fine with it.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not at that stage yet. Maybe soon, but
But your first ever visit was that summer, the 10th grade summer.
yeah, my 10th grade summer. It was so weird because obviously I couldn't drive. And so we met at our meeting point, and then
Which you got to remember.
Which was this awkward? Because this is your second interaction.
time,
like,
second ever
out.
time hanging out in person.
That's wild.
So like you kind of like FaceTime, you kind of forget like.
And we didn't think about it. And so then for the first, I remember being like, this is really strange.
This is
Was it
weird.
awkward? Like, did you know what to do?
We're not huggers.
So you
Okay.
didn't know what to do. Yeah.
And so we like get out of
And
the
it's
car.
both of our dads.
No,
That's-
it was my mom that time.
No, it was your dad. Because
Oh, it
I
was my
remember
dad.
your dad. Because I've never met your dad. I've talked to your mom, but I've never talked to your dad.
That is true.
And so your dad was there, and I was like, hey.
We're taking your daughter.
Oh yeah, and then he
Hey.
left,
Uh-huh.
and then I was just kind of like
Yeah.
stuck. Like, you know what I mean?
You're
It
like,
was
oh no,
so
I gotta
weird.
go.
It was so
She
weird
was like-
because it was my first time away, like from home,
Mm-hmm.
in a different state for like a decent time. I was probably there for a week, and so the only like. It was just kind of funny because we didn't really know what to talk about in the car because
Yeah.
like her dad's driving, and so we're
You're
just
like-
kind of sitting in the
And
back
so it's
like
not like, I don't know. It's just more like a filtered talk.
yeah, like you know when your parents are in the car,
Yeah.
you kind of just have to like not like. Blah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Not that there's whatever, but yeah. So, but that was like every time I come down here, it's a little more like home.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I love being around everybody.
Yeah.
And I love spending time down here. And I think if it wasn't for, I've said this time and time again, for being down here, I seriously probably wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Like this is the most I've traveled down here. 12th grade year, seriously. I was here October for fall break. I was here for Christmas. I came back in spring break, prom stuff, you know, because
Yeah.
we did
Oh,
that thing. That was the other thing I came
Yeah,
down
that
here
was
for
prom.
in May. And then
Spring break, then May, and now in June.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's so
and
fun.
then I'll be back again for City Reach. But spring break was also happened to be Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Because it was April.
Yeah,
And she texted me like a week or two before you came.
it was a week prior. Yeah.
Just asking like, hey, what's baptism? Like what does it look like? What does it mean? Like, and so like I've been raised in the church.
Yeah.
I know exactly what
Yeah.
it means. Like I explained it to her. I kind of talked to her about like certain things that like the process of like what
And
you
like
go
what her
through
church does.
Yeah.
and what my church
Yeah.
does, what my dad has always taught me, stuff like that. And she was like, well, I'm thinking about wanting to get baptized. And I was like, okay, because I knew she hadn't been saved yet.
Mm-hmm.
She's always talked about it, but like never fully was.
Because I was
never, like-
baptized as a baby,
Okay.
but then
Yeah.
because I grew up in Lutheran church.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was baptized as baby. My goodness, baby. Now I'm a baby. And then I talked to Trin, and that was the whole conversation. And I was just like, "Well, would your dad do it?" And she was like, "Let me ask him."
I was like, let me.
And so I didn't know what to expect. And then she was like, "Well, he'd probably like to talk to you first." I'm like, "Okay, no big deal."
like,
Fine, I'll talk.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
I remember
So-
I was in math class when you were texting me this, and so I'm blowing up my dad's phone, and I'm like, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Peyton just asked me, and so like it's a huge deal.
Yeah, of
and,
course.
Like she doesn't understand the like kind of like the big deal behind it
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a close step to like getting saved and like the next process and that, and so. I'm like, yeah, you'll probably want a conversation with my dad. That's
Yeah.
like,
What did you think it was? Like before you talked and before Trin told you about it, like what was your perspective of what baptism is?
well, she was like, "Yeah, he'll just talk to you." So I'm thinking, I know, like, obviously your faith is a journey, right? Like you're always growing,
Yeah.
you're always up and down. And at first I was like, okay, like I kept seeing stuff on, Instagram, like all these videos of people kept getting
'cause our
baptized.
church was blowing
Yeah, we
up
had
with
there was so
baptism.
many.
And I was like, I felt like that was what I need to do to be one step closer
Okay,
to
yeah.
God. And I was like, I felt it heavy on my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking, because my church had been talking about baptisms, because they were doing them on
Interesting.
Easter and like all this stuff. And I love my church, but at the same time, I was like, I would love it so much more and feel so much like happier about it if her dad did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and that's when I texted her, and I was like, this is definitely the next step that I want to do, but I was so unsure. So talking to her dad was probably like, it was amazing for me because that's what I need. And I need like the guidance and the, he left it completely open, like my choice. I get that. And it was really helpful. We talked for, I think, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, because I was like...
It was so long, and it was so like
heavy.
tugged on your heartstrings
Yeah, it
a
was
lot.
Because she asked me about it. I told her she needed to talk to my dad. This was like 2 weeks before.
Okay.
Then she came for spring break, which Easter happened during spring break. It was a big baptism. Oh my goodness.
Baptism.
It was big. It was a really big Sunday. Okay, a lot of people got baptized, and so she got to watch a lot of people. Was it
The weekend before?
Just kidding. It was before.
Okay.
So yeah, she saw tons of things about it, and then the night of Easter was the night that my dad was like, he came to me before he came to her. I was like, hey, I'm about to talk to Peyton. Are you wanting to be in there? And we've walked through so much stuff together, but I felt like I needed to give her this time.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, we talk about a lot of stuff, but I feel like there's a certain point that it's like you don't dive that deep when you have another person
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I was like, do you want me there? Do you not want me there? But personally, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be in there.
I feel like I want it.
It's definitely good that you weren't. It's just like worked out. I feel like definitely you have the ability to kind of let go of more and really give it up.
Yeah. And
when
that's
you're kind of
basically what
alone.
I told my dad, too. And then they talked for 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours long.
Oh my goodness, man.
conversation.
I'm telling you, tears were flowing, like everything. Like I was sitting there and I'm just, it's such a big decision when you like, because it's truly what you want to do. But, and when you know that though, you just, you know, and it's been the best decision I've made ever since.
Yeah.
I
truly.
love that. So then how long after that did you get baptized?
So then it was when I came back. And I also think when you said there was 7 other people,
It was
right?
crazy.
That whole week it was
there
like
was
7
one
people in
every
7
day,
days.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had 7.
We had 10 total when I got baptized, but 7 in that week.
7 people got saved in 1 week.
Because didn't it start on like a Sunday or something? And then it went to that
Peyton.
whole...
Yeah.
It was
that's
Peyton
crazy.
that started it. And so all these people that got saved, it was crazy.
And most were like kids. Like most were like
It
students.
was all our youth.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the older ones came like after that week.
Yeah, and so
Crazy.
they all got baptized May 12th.
Yep. Mother's Day.
May 12th. So when she came down,
Oh my goodness.
you came down on what, Thursday or Friday?
I came down on a Thursday.
She came down Thursday. Friday was kind of just like a prep day.
Yeah.
Saturday we had prom, which I took her to my prom.
Mm-hmm.
That was eventful.
Are you guys glad you went?
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm glad to say we went. Like you could be like, oh yeah, we went.
We went to
but
senior
I
prom.
think it's one of those things where you definitely need a huge group of people
You think
to like
so?
have fun.
Yeah.
Yes. So like that's my recommendation. If you're going to prom, go with a bunch
Like
of people.
I saw
You guys
tons of people.
listening?
But then the next day we had the baptism, and then that night we celebrated my 18th birthday.
It's fun.
So that was a really
It was a big weekend, and my mom surprised me and drove down from Wisconsin to come watch me get baptized. And
That's awesome.
I didn't know this. Obviously, it's a big surprise. And I
didn't know either.
Oh, I thought you knew.
No, it's a good thing she didn't know because
had
she
no
would
idea.
definitely tell
Yeah.
me on
I
accident.
wouldn't-
Because
You
I
would
thought
be
you knew the
itching
whole
the day
time, and I
of.
thought you would have been like hinting it on accident and not even realize
That's
it.
what I would do. I
Yeah.
wouldn't full blown tell you, but I would be like,
Or you'd like
I
slip
could
a
tell
little bit and
something's
have
wrong,
to like cover
though.
it. Like
yeah,
somehow.
like I'm a really bad liar.
Yeah.
So.
I know, and I would be able to tell that you're like holding something
And
back.
she can read me. Like
Yeah.
I've never, so
Yeah,
this-
like a book.
I get it now, but I was just in the moment. I was like, I didn't know about this.
Isaiah knew over you.
I was.
He told me, he's like, I almost gave up the surprise.
How did he know?
I think he had to know because he was filming it.
He was filming, and so he was taking pictures, and so he was told, And so
Isaiah's Trin's boyfriend.
Yeah, and so that was a big gap. We forgot them.
Oh yeah, we
That's
missed
who
that part.
Which, okay, that's also funny because
I met him for the first time last Christmas.
but
This past Christmas. Yeah.
but the first time she ever
Met-
talked to him was on FaceTime when she was at my house during the first Christmas break that you came. Wait, no,
it would have been fall break.
We all FaceTime together.
fall break.
It would have been fall break.
We all FaceTime together one time. It was a group FaceTime.
Oh yeah,
And all of it, like, it was my first time ever meeting him. And it was so funny, but it was awkward at first. And then all of a sudden, I just
You're just
became
like, I gotta
myself.
break this up.
Like, I can't do silence. Like,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
kinda
And they're
drives me
like the
nuts.
same person
Yeah.
too,
You
just
guys
like
literally are.
opposite gender. So it's really weird. But like we've all FaceTime, so like they knew each other.
Prior to Christmas.
Yeah,
prior.
So when he
Just,
got
like-
there and we were like close, everybody's like nobody had any idea that we all FaceTimed like all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And
All the
so
time.
With Isaiah and Peyton both being long distance, I talked to them each every day.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of like their time was like interfering with each other. And at one point I was like, you know what, we're just going to get this over with. And I added them both to the same call. And it was actually really funny.
It was
went
hilarious
great.
because like, yeah, we're both so like you
It
really have a type, Trin.
She was like in shock because she was like, "Oh my goodness, you like this?"
And
You like this?
the more I've like met him, the more we've talked and everything, the more I see like how similar we
You're
are.
like, "This is
Because
weird."
like he'll randomly be in like this grumpy mood, and I'm like, I know exactly why, because I'm the same way, and it's so
They're
bad.
the same way. And so
I
now-
feel bad for Trin because she's got to deal with two of us.
So yes, so it's just funny because they were like two of like the most like people that made such a big impact
Yeah.
in my life were long distance.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of like interesting to see how that's like played out over their like.
And same for both of you guys. Like, I never thought I'd know somebody from Arkansas, like be talking to somebody from Arkansas
Yeah.
over the phone
Isn't that
and not
weird?
meeting them ever. You know what I mean? And then for the first time meeting them at Christmas, and you guys have played you guys are such a blessing. Like, I thank God for you guys all the time because how much you guys have helped me through stuff, like truly. And I wouldn't have ever thought that I'd have long distance friends. And especially I feel like it's set us up very well for like, I mean, I'm going on to things. I'm going to college and I'll be away for a while,
Yeah.
but I mean, I know I always have home
Yeah.
here. This is always my home.
Isn't it such a like a weird feeling that like after all of these years, it's like we get to the end of the year, like the final cut, and it's like the final cut made it, and now you guys are both here. My two long distance people are both here like all the time now. I guess you're not here like
As much as he is.
permanently.
She comes at
but,
weeks
like,
at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Like you
often.
were like
Well, we're working on it.
beginning of May and the beginning of June, you were both here, and so it was like a 3-week span that you weren't.
Yeah. I was, literally 3 weeks, I think. I was not gone for very long. And then I got to get back home for graduation, and I'll be right back again for city
Which
reunion.
I'm going back to Wisconsin for the first
Yeah.
time. In
Oh, yeah.
Are you
3
excited
years.
about that? And you get to bring Isaiah. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be, so what are you
I think
guys
there's going to
planning
be a
on?
lot of like, oh my goodness, I used to like that's
Yeah,
going
a
to
lot
be
of those.
heard so much.
Just driving around. Oh yeah, that
or being like,
Oh my goodness,
that's-
that's still there.
that's still there, or oh that's new. Like she's going to have to like
That's
plug
gonna
her
be
ears
so
half
fun,
the
though.
time.
I'm going to be like a tour guide.
How long are you guys gonna be there for?
I think it's only 4 or 5 days. It's not
Yeah,
very
it's
long
gonna be
this
so
time.
fun.
It's not that long, and we have a lot to do those 4 days.
Because I
It's
have
graduation.
my graduation Friday night, and then my party is Saturday.
Yeah, so we
That's
get
so
there
fun.
Thursday night. We're gonna go to one of the places that my family used to eat all the time,
fun.
and was one of our first places that we ate in
Uh-huh.
Wisconsin when we moved
Oh,
there.
I love that.
Really?
That's so fun.
We have
know.
pictures
What is
in
it?
front of the sign.
It's Max.
It's a
Max.
Funny.
Max?
Yeah, it's mac and cheese.
and
place.
it's spelled like your name too.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's
So
mac
now
and
you have
cheese
to
place.
visit and you
Yeah,
to
now
go.
I have to go.
There's pictures of us when we first moved there, and there was a sign called "Be Cheesy," and my
Oh, yeah.
mom thought it was like so
your mom was
funny,
definitely like,
and so we like took pictures in front of it. Like it was like
I
this
need
big
to see
deal.
these pictures.
so-
I'm
I'll
definitely
show you
asking.
after, but it was like our first
That's
place
gonna
that
be
we ate.
so fun.
Yeah, so that's gonna be our first place that we stuff.
Hey,
Fun.
same thing.
And then
First
you're
place eating
right
it.
back here. And then what are you're going to go through this summer. We have a busy summer, so not much to plan through that. But what are you guys planning on doing once summer's over? Like, where are you both going? You're both done with school. What are your plans?
I'll be going to college farther up north.
Okay, where at?
3.5 hours. It's UW River
Instead
Falls.
of getting
Okay.
closer, she's like, let's just get a little bit farther
Let's
away.
go even
So
even
how
more
many
north.
hours is it?
So now it'll be 9.5.
Holy crap.
Okay,
Yep.
and what are you going for?
I'm going for animal science. The end goal is to go into animal chiropractic. Yeah. I get that reaction a lot. I get that reaction.
Dogs?
Yeah. So
And if you watch videos, it is not.
So there's obviously many approaches to it. Some of them are very aggressive. Other ones, like I've shadowed a animal chiropractor and she did horses, and that's the goal. I want to do horses and dogs.
That's so
Specialize in
cool.
those, and yeah, horses are crazy to watch get adjusted. She just uses like little tools,
Huh.
and yeah, but
How do you decide your dog needs to go to the chiropractor? Because he can't be like, my arm's longer than my other one.
no,
Like-
right? Like, I feel like a lot of people just turn to it when they kind of run out of options at the vet. Or like, oh, I can only take so many medications. Like my dog can only have so many medications. Or it's kind of similar to like
I went
physical
through that
therapy,
process.
except physical therapy obviously is more working with like muscles and like retraining your brain type thing. But I remember we started taking my oldest dog, because he's just getting older,
Yeah.
and his hips kind of give out a little bit, like his legs give out and stuff like that. And so we were just like, hey, let's try it. And she's been great for him.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, so yeah, they have fun. And like if they're injured or they fall, then it's kind of nice to get them back.
They
into place.
do like lots of amputee animal. My cousins have a 3-legged dog, and I've always wondered like, how do dogs get back to normal? He probably needs like crack a few times.
Probably because he's probably very off balance.
Yeah. He's
I
cute.
don't know. I feel like what kind of dog is he?
I don't know.
You
He's
don't
a
know.
mix. He's black and he's skinny and he hobbles a little bit. He got hit by a truck. He's okay.
That's good.
The guy who hit him brought cookies to my cousins. It's
So
fine.
he didn't start as a
No. He had 4 well-made legs, and then he got hit by a truck.
Okay.
Wow.
But going onward.
Anyway, so that's the hope. That's kind of where I see myself going now, but I'm trying to
That's
allow
awesome.
myself to be open to change.
How long is schooling for that?
Close to 8 to 9 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And right now you work at a
Seems
you work at a
chiropractor.
chiropractor.
Human
right?
chiropractor. Yep.
Okay, so does that give you any sort of help? Do
It
dogs
has.
ever visit?
No, actually, but my boss, he'll bring in his dogs, because the chiropractor I work at, we have pro adjuster machines,
Oh.
and so a machine helps adjust you, and then they
Okay.
also do manual stuff and like a bunch of.
I don't
That
want to be
sounds
adjusted by
scary.
a robot.
You like get
They
tied?
do it. The doctors do it, but the machine helps not over adjust you.
That's crazy.
Because you can get over adjusted if you're just doing it in person.
That's
And
awesome.
so,
So my chiropractor uses one of those like
yeah, that's like similar to the same thing. It's an activator, but it's just different form of an activator.
That's awesome.
I guess.
I
It's
think
so.
I need to go to the chiropractor. When I lift my arms, one's longer than the other. You see,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Dom, aren't they longer? Isn't that crazy?
That's I was not expecting that to be like that much of a difference.
Did
I
you
know.
like raise your hands, put your in the mirror, and be like, oh.
No, I was wearing a shirt, and the sleeve, one sleeve I had to roll up because it was like down to here, and the other one I didn't have to roll up, and I was like, and then I was like, did they cut the sleeves the wrong length? It was weird. Yeah.
That would be so weird. That'd be the weirdest.
I go to the chiropractor because I have an extra bone in my neck.
She has an extra bone.
I have one elongated bone and one extra
And
bone.
she gets her
She's
feet
extra
tapped.
special.
They tap my feet. They do, yeah.
Yeah, let's stop
Okay.
there.
Anyways.
Yeah, so that's I work at
awesome.
one now. I've got my chiropractic technician certification.
Oh, cool.
So I'm hoping to go, and the thing, you go to chiropractic school for humans first. So I'll kind of have both.
So you have to go to both. Okay. Well, that's cool.
You can practice.
You can
On
practice
you?
on Trin.
Yeah.
Not on me.
Not on you.
But
You don't?
I'm scared of chiropractors.
Go for it.
Yeah. Trin, what are you doing?
I'm going to real estate school start of September. Tucker Real Estate School. Headed there. It takes a month to get through that. And then I'm hoping to go full time into becoming a real estate agent, working at a firm for a little bit, and then possibly breaking off and doing house renovations.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So exciting.
There'll be some big changes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Are you going to still try and come visit next year?
Definitely.
Yeah.
She's
Christmas
actually
for sure.
required.
Yeah,
at
she
some
has
points.
to.
It's mandatory. As soon as I signed up for my
Yeah.
housing contract, they were
Yeah.
like,
Like,
"Here,
you
this
gotta
one too." Yeah,
Just
no.
slip that paper right in there.
I definitely Christmas. My breaks kind of suck. I'm not gonna lie. I got all the dates for them, so
You'll see. You'll make it happen. Yeah.
summer will be good. So
Yeah,
just summers for sure.
You got all the time. Okay, well, thanks for being on the podcast. It was really fun talking to you guys. And I think that's all. Do you guys want to toast to something? Do we all have a drink?
I
have a
don't.
Chipotle
Here,
drink.
Peyton,
Here.
you can use.
I
Yeah,
got
you can
me a
use that.
Chipotle drink.
Okay, what do you guys want to toast to?
Chipotle's my life.
Future adventures, I guess.
Future adventures. I love
Yeah.
that.
Next chapter.
And I'm going to say cheers.
Good job.
Cheers!
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.